Doggy.
Woo, doggy.
Still recovering.
From media day?
Well, it's been boom, boom, boom for me and for you.
Monday felt like 8 days.
Had the trip last week.
Oh yeah, that's always a hard one to come
had
back
the trip last week where we got like 7 hours. We counted 7 hours of sleep. Tried to recover during the week. Would have done so on Saturday, but damn it, that classic was happening Saturday. So didn't really rest Saturday. Ran errands and saw people on Sunday, and then Monday transpired, media day. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm tired. I don't thirst for the weekend the way I used to anymore. But this week I'm thirsting for it. I need it. I need it bad. I need to not do anything.
I've got another wedding.
How many people do you know?
I know.
Oh my God.
It's tough.
Are you in this one?
I mean, not technically.
What do you mean
she's not doing a bridal party.
Okay.
But I have things I have to do.
Oh my God. Why? Why?
I'll miss you.
Listen, that'll be all right.
You will survive.
Oh, I'm sure I will. What was the song?
It was a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, we can get rid of that.
No, it's good. It's by this duo called The Braids.
Which one is Bohemian Rhapsody?
Is this the real life or is it fantasy? I'm just a little silhouette.
There we go. There it is. There we go. All right, got to do the part that I know.
Can we do the fandango?
Where is that? What movie is that song in?
Many.
Okay, what movie is it in that I would know?
Bohemian Rhapsody, the biopic about Queen.
Freddie Mercury. That's why they called it that.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But it's been used in a lot. So I was trying to figure out if this cover was used in a movie because there's no reason for me. I tried to look up The Braids. They didn't do anything except for the one album that this cover is on. And I can't find it anywhere. But it's a nice little calm version.
Oh, it's calm?
And it's not the Canadian art rock band The Braids. It's a duo, The Braids. I don't know. I was confused. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, September 30th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, Media Day is in the books for the Grizzlies. Training camp starts today. DaMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, is going to join us to break down the biggest storylines coming out of yesterday, going into camp. I talked to every player of the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday. I will tell you what I learned in those conversations. We'll talk some football because it was a very busy football weekend and we had our Media Day show yesterday, so we weren't able to get into the weekend that was. It's Tuesday. We'll do a little TV Tuesday. Relationship news that shocked the world. We'll talk some Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. It's a Tuesday. You know what we say.
Wayne's World.
Party time. Oh, they used it in it.
That's the movie.
I was going to...
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for? The boy is mine.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Let's go, Grizz! Let's go! Oh, John Moran just broke
Picked up by Pippen. Bob. Brandon Clark. Woo! On that round.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Jaron Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaron, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I was like, all right.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a great start to the week. Hope you enjoyed Grind City Media's all-day coverage of Grizzlies Media Day 2025. After CJ and I were released from the show in the morning with Pete Pranica, all the players made their way through. If you have not watched, listened, go ahead. The stream is up on YouTube, and there's a lot of great stuff throughout the day. DaMichael Cole is going to join us in the next segment. We'll get his thoughts on Media Day from his perspective, plus training camp starts today. I experienced Media Day in a very odd way because I'm in a cocoon, CJ. I cocooned myself into Grizz Files.
You sprinted off that desk also. We were not supposed to leave, and Jessica like, "Hey, sorry, Contra's over there. Bye," and just took off running and left me and Pete over there like, "Well, Pete, what are we gonna do?"
Okay, I get 10 minutes. And they are very tight on those 10 minutes. Sometimes I can fudge it to 12, but 10-minute windows and a schedule is very strict. And these are the Grizz Files.
They got there early. They got there way early.
But just because he got there early doesn't mean the next one gets there early. It's a whole thing. And it's very stressful. And when I saw him sit down in that seat, I was like, gotta run, gotta jet. Grizz Files are great. I did 18.
Wait, where can people get the Grizz Files?
So that's a great question.
Okay.
Grizz Files, for people who don't know, is a segment in the radio show pregame show. So on 92.9 ESPN, pregame show, every game, you hear from a different Grizzlies player, or Coach Tomas Isel is included as well. And it's a basic story of their life. When did you first fall in love with basketball? When did you realize you were good? Recruitment, college, pro, other fun facts about them. And this year, I believe we are going to clip them off onto social media as well so that more people can see them and hear from them, because there's really interesting stuff that comes out of each and every one of these guys. Like, I joked yesterday, if Grizz Files won championships, the Grizzlies would be a contender this year. And like, I'm a sucker for Media Day because it represents all the things that I love. Hope, optimism, people in good moods, high energy. And so I can get pretty easily lost in the sauce of Media Day. And from my chair, I'm not watching the press conferences that everyone else is watching. I'm not able to watch the GCM stream. I'm just talking to these dudes and catching up for the first time in a long time and how their summer was, and kind of getting a reflection point, I guess I would say, of where they are at in this point in their careers. Like, for example, talking to Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant yesterday, like, they're vets now. Like, I've been doing these Grizz Files with them every year since I joined the Grizzlies in 2021, and they are the elder statesmen of this team. They're young vets, sure, but they have now been around the block. And for Jaren, like the evolution of him, he seems exceptionally focused on basketball this year. And he obviously has, so many other avenues going on in his life, from the fashion to the music to everything that grows in his role with the Players Association. But I always ask every player, like, if you were not a professional basketball player, what would you be? And in the past, I'm like, a designer or a rapper or whatnot. And he was like, honestly, the older I get in this job, the more I understand, like, this is who I am. This is all I've ever wanted to do, and how lucky am I that I get to do this every day. And I was like, oh, what a thoughtful answer. And Ja, same energy from him. He just seems to be in a very comfortable groove. He has found his people. He has found his circle, his trust. And it was just nice to talk to both of them. It's weird because I'm doing these interviews back to back to back to back to back, 18 straight. So a lot gets lost in the brain until you go back and edit them once we're eventually breaking them down for the radio show. But if something stands out and is memorable, I feel like it shows how important it is. The one I had for Ja was in asking, how do you eventually want to be remembered in this league? These are real, like, philosophical questions we get into on the Grizz Files. And he said, when I get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and just the active use of when I get inducted and being one of the greatest players in, the history of the NBA. It was nice to hear the continued, search for being great, for greatness, and for both of them, the importance of winning and winning a championship here in Memphis, and the respect and the joy that they have had in their careers here so far. Was there anything from your side of watching Media Day that stood out in any of the quotes? It felt like a relatively quiet Media Day, which is a good thing. You don't want a ton of storylines coming out of Media Day.
Yeah, I'm done with interesting in this franchise, right? It never bodes well when they start getting interesting. So that stood out, that, everybody is coming in here and it feels very much business as usual for the players. New coach, there's been some changes on the staff, but from a player standpoint, it felt, okay, we know what this is. We know what we're supposed to do. Let's go ahead and knock this out. Have a little bit of fun, but let's not say anything too crazy, and then let's get out of here and get to business. Let's get to the business of winning basketball games. And that's what stood out to me. Everybody calls it, and I think Taylor Jenkins might have started it, but maybe not. I don't know. I recall Taylor Jenkins saying it first, and that's the first one I heard. It's the first day of school. You've echoed those sentiments. Pete Pranica has brought it up. Everybody talks about it.
My friend in LA said Lakers' first day of school yesterday. We're doing it everywhere.
First day of school. There's a difference, though, in the first day of school for a kindergartner and a first day of school for like a fourth grader, fifth grader, and a difference between that and the first day of school for a junior in high school, right? Like there's a difference there. And I feel like not too often, I feel like oftentimes in years past, it's felt very elementary schoolish, where it's just excitement and just people running around all over the place. It's like basketball. Who cares about basketball? Everybody's in the gym. I'm so excited to see all my friends again, right? Had Gigi last year on one leg, just zipping and zooming all over the place. A whole lot of fun, a whole lot of energy. But like that's at this level, like you got to be about the business of winning all of the time. And even in moments like this where you can kind of let your hair down some and have a bit of fun with people who you know and you have relationships with, basketball still has to come first, and winning has to come first, and not putting any larger of a target on your back than what you already got has to come first. People could have gone out there and said, hey, not only am I going to Hall of Fame or wherever I'm going, but we're the best team in the league. Right? Nobody said anything like that. They are choosing to let, at least so far, let play speak, not words speak. And too often with this franchise in the past, words have done the talking, not the action. So seeing them refrain a bit from some of those types of things was a bit refreshing for somebody like me.
I mean, when the spiciest thing to come out of Media Day is Jock Landell saying that Steven Adams told him that Memphis barbecue is better than Texas barbecue. That's a good place to be. And he's correct. And I know we all get in the fights about the barbecue. And it was funny to hear the mention of Steve-O and the respect for Memphis barbecue. But like, you can laugh at that and you can move on, because it's not going to cause NBA or NBA Centel to make a graphic or Bleacher Report to say, Grizzlies player X said this crazy thing, and then everyone pops off about it. It's just a funny comment on barbecue. All three vets who the Grizzlies brought in were really enjoyable to talk to. Jock Landale, I cannot wait for people to hear his story from Australia, and he was super under-recruited. His family owned a farm and still owns it, now going on like 180 years, and his journey over here to America and having to play the European route for a long time before he finally got an opportunity in the NBA. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, speaking to a two-time champion. He was at the Georgia-Alabama game last weekend, still does a lot with Georgia, has a podcast. He was really fun to talk to, has 5 kids, loves being a dad. And then Ty Jerome, who I did think it was notable coming out of yesterday to find out that he gave up more money to specifically come play in Memphis. So you can shush those narratives that nobody wants to come play in Memphis. Ty Jerome specifically thought that he would fit well in Tomas Isolo's system and with this Grizzlies group. So I thought those 3, nice to know new faces. Speaking of new faces, like Cedric Coward, we have not seen this man on a basketball court. He played 6 games at Washington State. The lore, the expectations, the meteoric rise, Kane Brown style in the NBA draft process that gets to the point where he is the Grizzlies guy, and seeing Zach Kleiman light up talking about him yesterday, it is so easy to be completely tantalized by Cedric Coward because every time he opens his mouth, he speaks like a 40-year-old in the best of ways. I'm like, you operate like a vet, like a president, like Superman. He stands with his hands on his hips and his shoulders are so broad, and he just has a very, what's the word? Just like statesmanship to him that is really impressive for a rookie. And his one mistake coming out of the Vince Williams situation that happened on the Grind City Media broadcast, which was pretty funny. That was a rookie move by Cedric there. But he acts so much older than his age. So it was almost a nice reminder of, oh, he is a rookie, and he does still have some things to learn in those situations.
What's the punishment for that?
I don't know.
The rookie dry snitching, dropping information the veteran don't want out there.
Did you watch the clip?
No.
Gary is just so taken aback. For people who missed it, lots of exciting family moments from multiple Grizzlies players this offseason. And there was a moment towards the beginning of Gary Parrish interviewing Vince Williams. And I'll just let you go find it if you want to find it. But it was some leakage of information from Cedric Coward that perhaps Vince did not want out there for a media day presentation. But he's wildly impressive. Listening to other players talk about Cedric Coward leads you to believe that they have seen things in practices, in runs that really excite them about his potential with this team. He was a standout interview yesterday. I'll tell you who I know fans will not be surprised that he is a good interview, but will love to hear the continued evolution. Gigi Jackson. Like, if he can figure it out on the court, if he can be a real player in the NBA someday, and there is still so much runway ahead. He is 20 years old. He is going into year 3, and he is still the youngest player on this team. He's 20. And he tried to tell me sometimes he feels older when he gets out of bed and his knees creak. And I said, no, you're 20 years old. You're not allowed to say that yet. But then he gets around the team, and they constantly remind him of his youth. And for someone who is 20 years old, who obviously went through it last year, like Kleiman brings it up in his opener yesterday at Media Day, the understanding, and people saw the frustration of Gigi Jackson and how last season transpired. And then talking to Gigi about it, like, he's so humbled about it all. To listen to a 20-year-old be able to take the ego out of it and walk through the lessons that he learned through his early NBA playing career, very, very early NBA playing career, just wildly impressive. Like, I asked him his favorite moment of his playing career so far in Memphis. If there was one moment you could take a snapshot of and frame forever. And it wasn't a game, it wasn't a highlight, it wasn't a stat. He said being sent to the hustle. Being sent to the hustle last year was the best moment of his career so far. And to have that understanding of like the lesson that was learned, the professionalism that was learned, the kind of flip of a switch of going from why am I not getting all these playing minutes last season after I had a breakout rookie year on an off year for the Grizzlies with lots of injuries and took advantage of this opportunity. Now I'm not seeing playing time. I'm frustrated. To go to the hustle and to have a humbling moment like that and be able to reflect on it, just wildly impressed. Like, I will always root for Gigi Jackson because of conversations like the one that I had with him yesterday. It was impressive stuff.
Great.
Anything else?
He's a 3-year vet now, so I don't care how old he is.
He's 20 years old.
He's He's been here.
It still
how many
matters.
times? He's been here 3 years.
It
Get
still
out there
matters.
and take care of it. Like this media day is for this type of stuff.
Yes.
Though. Like, it's absolutely for, like, okay, this guy seems to have it all figured out, or have some of it figured out. Certainly more than what he had last year from a mental standpoint figured out. But again, it's talk. I need performance. And I understand you might say, CJ, they just got here. They hadn't had a chance to perform. I understand that. I agree with you. So I'll reserve judgment on all of these dudes until I start to see them get out there in regular season basketball.
Oh, you're not excited for Grizzlies Pistons next Monday at FedEx Forum?
It'll be great to have NBA basketball back after a hiatus. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. Thrilling even. I'll reserve all my judgments till regular season basketball once again. Not preseason, not summer league, not off 6 games that somebody played in undergrad at one point in time. Regular season basketball.
Cedric Coward was talking about some highlight he had. I think it was at Eastern Washington against Idaho. And the way he talked about it, I was like, I got to go find that highlight. Then I was like, Jessica, what are you doing? Searching for Eastern Washington, Idaho. Even supporter of the Kibby Dome, have lines that I should not cross. I do think, as it pertains to the preseason and having a little more importance, just like Summer League had a little more importance than just a traditional run-of-the-mill, is all of these will be the first opportunity to see Tomas Isolo's new system. And got a sprinkle of it in Summer League. You'll start to see it take effect in the preseason as we see these position battles take place over the next couple of days at training camp. Obviously, the Grizzlies navigating the front court fragility. It was nice to talk to Jaren. It was nice to talk to Zach Edey. They're both, on track to recover from their injuries. Brandon Clark was not at media day yesterday because he had the scope of his knee done yesterday morning. So as it pertains to Isolo's system, we're not going to see everything right away because a lot of it's going to revolve around Zach Edey. And yes, you do have someone like Jock Landale as a holding place. From a non-system standpoint, Tomas Isolo is cool as hell. Like, Tomas Isolo, just chatting with him on, his professional playing career in Finland and the transition to being a coach and how that ultimately leads to Paris basketball and now being in the NBA, that's all good and great. Do you know what Tomas Isolo is incredibly passionate about, CJ?
No, what?
American pop culture. Really? I said, is there anything that would surprise fans about you? He goes, I want you to know, of everybody in this entire organization, nobody knows more about American pop culture than me. And no, I was taken aback. I didn't have a quiz to have. But he said growing up in Finland, there wasn't a lot to do when you're playing in your free time. And so he just watched a ton of American movies and TV shows. His movie preferences, though, get this man on Letterboxd. His movie preferences, 3 favorites he named: Interstellar, There Will Be Blood, and Sideways. It's like Sideways, recognized in 2025. I was excited about that from Tomas Isolo. And last but not least, because I did want to make sure I gave a shout out to everyone who, all the interviews were great, but standout, Jalen Wells. We talked about him yesterday in the pre-show before Zach Kleiman spoke. The maturity of Jalen Wells is exceptional. And speaking with him, the evolution of his summer league before his rookie season and then becoming a starter for the Grizzlies last season, and now where he situates himself, he has started a foundation that he's incredibly passionate about. Just a really good representative of the Memphis Grizzlies. As CJ said, it's talking season. None of this ultimately makes a difference on how the Grizzlies will be on the court, but it was very fun to sit down and be reminded there's just some really good dudes on this team, and they are wildly enjoyable to talk to, and I can't wait for you all to hear Grizz Files this year. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, DaMichael Cole, beat writer for the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal, is going to join us. We'll get his takeaways on the biggest things we learned at Media Day yesterday, what he's looking forward to in training camp this week. That's after a quick break.
had dinner last night with Grizzlies head coach Tomas Isalo, and that was a pleasant experience. It is not hard to understand how a franchise could fall in love with the idea of him running the basketball team. If there would have been a camera on our conversation last night and I could just replay it for you, you would walk away incredibly impressed.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Jaren Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaren, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I'm like,
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. It is the Tuesday after Media Day. Mike Wallace is on the road to Nashville to join the Grizzlies in training camp. And we are lucky enough to have DaMichael Cole step in and be able to join us before he heads to Nashville for training camp. Everyone's going to Nashville.
Everybody's going to Nashville.
DaMichael, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. If you know, you know. Most people know. Read his latest up at the CA. Coming out of Media Day yesterday, though, relatively quiet.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, right?
Which is a great thing. I mean, I was telling people that, you know, whether it was my editors, whether it was fans, like, be okay with that. You know, we're not really used to that around here. You're used to hearing, you know, not exactly on Media Day all the time, but it's just a bunch of sound bites that typically come out. And then they're just bigger storylines around the Grizzlies typically. But this team is really in the shadows. Like in the past, you know, they've had that mentality, but there's still been big storylines, whether it was, you know, stuff with Ja or whether it was, you know, things that would be said at Media Day with player rankings and all that. We didn't talk about any of that. Nobody asked Ja about how do you feel about being ranked, you know, in the 30s by ESPN and all that. It was a different approach. overall, and the players, Islo, even Zach Kleiman, just felt a little different. So it's we're not used to that around here, where it's just felt like it's really just strictly business.
Yeah, I thought the closest thing you got was Zach Kleiman saying the Grizzlies could surprise some people, but it was not in a the Grizzlies could really come out and surprise. No, it was a simple statement.
Subtle.
Really subtle was the word, exactly. And he didn't go as far as it pertains to like evaluating success this season, putting numbers on wins, losses, playoff status, depth into the postseason, which does create a challenge in figuring out how to set expectations for this season. How have you, coming off of yesterday and just the lead up and the build up to this year, figured out your own expectations for this Grizzlies team?
For me, it's relatively simple, because at the end of the day, you have two guys who are entering the prime of their careers, and I'm a big when it comes to prime of careers, you don't waste years. You don't say, hey, let's take this year to evaluate what we have with the guys around our core players. Anytime you have guys in the prime of their careers, you essentially go for it every single year. Now, I'm not saying, go Los Angeles Rams it and like trade all your first round picks and whatnot. But in a way, you have that aggressive mentality. And I get a little bit of a sense of that when we were talking to Zach yesterday. Like, the word that he likes to use is flexibility. Yeah. He tends to say that from time to time. And what I get from that is essentially, if they have to make a move, at the deadline, if they feel like, oh, we got a really good team, let's add one piece here to put us, in this category or something like that, they have the capability to do just that. So I think, when we look at the roster, it's not a roster where to many people immediately jumps out as like this is a championship contender. But it is a roster where if you look at it, you say, oh, they can put together a really solid team centered around defense, centered around the two star players. They could have a really solid season. And I could see a scenario where we get to February and say, oh, the Grizzlies should go get that disgruntled player over there and add that piece and potentially really put them into those conversations. So I think that him using that flexibility word, which again goes back to, how they got the Jaren Jackson Jr. contract done, making the trade with Marcus Smart, all these different moves in the past, the Desmond Bane move, all these kind of set up the flexibility that this team has now, because at the end of last season, it didn't look like they would have this type of flexibility.
Their aggressiveness is based in their flexibility.
Yeah.
Which, when you hear aggressive, you think, all right, put together the starriest, showiest, best offseason. But instead, it leaves doors open in the case of the Grizzlies for that financial flexibility to make a potential move. But what does stand out as you're going through all of the players yesterday, and we've seen it on paper, but it's different as you're talking to each of them, the depth. Yeah. There really is depth on this roster. Now, you can have your own opinion on the abilities of that depth, but even, that Zach Kleiman mentioning, they've never had so much the ball guards, handling and the abilities of guards on this roster. You miss a big piece in three-point shooting with Desmond Bane, and despite Luke Kennard's fall off last year, what he represented as a shooter. But what interests you the most as it pertains to the position battles that we could be seeing through training camp this week?
Yeah, it's almost like who's going to separate themselves. I think we have to get to January, and there has to be clear separators at these key positions. And the big thing for me is, I think the easiest way to explain it to everyone is, we know who the two best players are. You can go out there and ask 10 people on the street who's the third best player of the Grizzlies, and I think you'll get at least 3 different answers. Somebody's going to say Zach Edey. Somebody's probably going to say Jalen Wells. Someone may say Santi Aldama. And you might even get different answers than those. People love Cedric Howard. But the point is, there isn't a clear definitive, this is our third best player. When Des was here, we didn't have to ask that question. And even going back before that, we had Steven Adams and Dylan Brooks. It was very clear those 5.
The pecking order was much clearer.
It was much clearer. With this team, you have a bunch of guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Zach Edey having a quote-unquote breakout year, averaging a double-double. I wouldn't be surprised if Cedric Howard ends up in Rookie of the Year conversations or something like that. And, we know Santi's going to get a bigger role here at the start of the season. We've seen his capabilities offensively. So it's just like, who's going to separate themselves? Particularly with the position battles, it's the wing, right? And I've kind of done the numbers on this because I've been trying to figure it out myself. And you're pretty much going to have 5 guys battling for what I feel like will be relatively 3 spots. I think it's safe to say Ja Morant's going to be the starting point guard.
Safe.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say. But when you get past Ja Morant, there's these other wing positions. I think Ty Jerome will definitely play. Scottie Pippen Jr. will definitely play. So you got your 2 starting wings, and then you got one more backup wing. And I think you have 3 positions. You got 5 guys. You got Cedric Coward, you got Gigi Jackson, you throw Vince Williams in there, and then you got the projected starters, Jalen Wells and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Between those 5 guys, more than likely, only 3 of them are going to get consistent time. So it's going to be a battle in this preseason of who is going to allow themselves to really kind of stand out and separate themselves. And once that happens, I think we'll get that clarity.
How do you answer the question who the 3rd most important player is?
For me, it's a complementary role. You know, it's who best complements what Ja and Jaren do, but who is also capable of handling more. Because what the Grizzlies have done a good job of is putting complementary players, guys who can do more with less. I don't need the ball, but I can have a huge impact on the game. I don't have to score 25 points, but I can still be as impactful as the guys who do score 25 points. But as we saw, it's always funny. Players answer things indirectly sometimes, questions that aren't even asked. And I forget which player it was, but one of the players, it's Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome was talking about, handling the ball. And he mentioned one of my biggest questions with this team and the potential starting lineup is he was talking about playing in Cleveland when he would play with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. He said he felt like it's important to have multiple ball handlers, right? Because when teams key in on your primary guy, putting it in the Grizzlies terms, when teams key in on Ja Morant, they say, hey, we're going to blitz him, we're going to double him, we're going to take the ball out of Ja Morant's hands. Who has the capability of say, I got it. I can be that secondary ball handler who's going to get us into our offense. And you want to be like, Jaren can do that, but we look at Jaren's assist numbers historically, they're not good. Right. And you got Jalen Wells, you got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope as the projected starters. Neither of them have shown much playmaking over the course of their careers to this point. So who's going to be that guy? Desmond Bane, it was very easy. Desmond Bane will step into that role, boom, 7, 8, 9 assists. And you have guys capable, like Jalen Wells was talking yesterday about the fact that he's going to get more playmaking opportunity. I think it's a good idea for the Grizzlies. I don't know how it'll work, but it's a good idea because you need someone else on the floor. You can't just solely rely on Ja because teams are going to take that away. So to answer the question, I think for me, right now I would say Zach Edey because of his importance, because he's going to be that guy who he can dominate the glass, he can dominate the screen setting, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, Cedric Coward was getting a lot of love.
Okay, let's talk about Cedric Coward, DaMichael, because from a standpoint of, are we setting this up too high?
It feels like it somewhat, doesn't it? He's
Listen, I'm guilty of it because as I'm sitting there talking to Cedric Coward, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this guy can be all rookie. He could be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. He could be the secret piece to this Grizzlies team operating far ahead of schedule. And then I have to pull myself back and say, you're just having a conversation with this man. Like we saw 6 games at Washington State, and his journey is impressive to go from Willamette, Division III, to Eastern Washington, to Washington State, progressing at every step of the way. What happened throughout the draft combine that had people making the wildest of comparisons for what Cedric Coward can be. I also don't want to put him in this box where if he falls short of that in his rookie year, he doesn't get the runway for a traditional rookie. Are we putting the expectation too high on Cedric Coward?
I think the expectation comes from the excitement. You just got to go through the history in Memphis here, and it's been so long since the Grizzlies have had that definitive wing. Yeah. Like, there's a reason.
Been searching for years.
There's a reason that group was called the Core 4. It couldn't be the Core 5 because they didn't have that wing to put in between them, and they tried a bunch of different guys and players, played well, but there was never that definitive, this is the 5th piece that we need guy. But in the case of Cedric Coward, like, for me, I established a baseline. What do we know that we feel like he brings to the table and he will bring to the table as a rookie, non-negotiable? And to me, that's, you hear everyone talking about his defense. We saw the way Jalen Wells played defense last year. You see the 7'1.5", 7'2" wingspan. You see the want to play defense. So I'm like, okay, he's going to come in as a rookie. He's going to be an impactful defender. You talk to him, he's going to talk a lot about his shooting. You look at his shooting numbers, they're really good, and he says, I can really shoot the basketball. So I'm saying, okay, he's a confident shooter, which you need, as a rookie. Right. That's half rookies' problems. They don't be confident. So he's confident. He's going to play defense. That's a good baseline. Now when you get into can he play in pick and roll, and can he be an efficient isolation scorer and all that, that's what takes you to a whole nother level. But I feel like we have a good baseline to say he should have a really solid rookie season. If he's doing those things, he's going to be very complimentary to Ja, very complimentary to Jaren Jackson Jr., and then some of those other guys, you know, Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen Jr., when he's playing with those guys, you know, Scottie's going to play some defense. They both can shoot, Scottie and Ty Jerome, so you put him out there in lineups with them. Like, you should have some very efficient lineups. So I think he's going to have a really good rookie season based on he having a good baseline. Like, it doesn't look like he's going to be a rookie that guys can just sag off of and, you know, mess up his confidence and things like that. And then he already understands. It was one of the first things he said yesterday. I got to play defense to get on the floor. So he got that figured out.
Yes, all of those things are true and can be true. Can you think, either of you, of a team with playoff aspirations, championship type aspirations, who have a rookie as the third best option, or who have had? So, right, like, I just don't think that it's fair to say, okay, Coward, let's go. We're excited about you. That's somebody who realistically can be the third best option. It's going to have to be one of those vets who is going to come in here, because we saw it last year. As great as Jalen Wells was, as awesome of a season that he had, towards the end of the season, Wells' production had fallen drastically. There will be that wall and that moment where the learning curve becomes too much for Coward, because it happens to all rookies. If you're banking on him being somebody who's contributing majorly to this team, I think you're setting yourself up for a bit of disappointment, either in the team's results or in Coward's performance overall.
Yeah, I think that's fair, too, because at the end of the day, he's a rookie, and it is a lot to put on a rookie. But, again, it comes with the expectation that he's going to be, you know, the next big wing that the Grizzlies have needed for so many years. And to me, I look at it like you play him in a simplified role as he starts his rookie, and then you continue to just add on to his play over the course of the year. I think in a perfect world, you end up talking about him being your third best player because of the ceiling that he has. But in a realistic, you know, sense of it, I think it's, you know, it's going to be a potentially a Ty Jerome or a Santi, or, you know, maybe even Jalen Wells takes that next step that people, you know, want to see out of him.
With the front court, we had a dreaded Grizzlies PR email come through on Friday. God, I did not miss them.
Friday afternoon.
I love my coworkers, but Grizzlies PR can chill on the Friday news dumps for a hot second. There was good in that, right? Jaren being on track, and certainly it's in play for him to be available for the season opener. And if not the season opener, really soon after that, Zach Edey being in play of a late November join, which is certainly better than a late December or a January rejoin. And we'll knock on wood and cross fingers, because that's still a long ways away. But as it pertains to Brandon Clark and having to get a scope on his knee yesterday, which the procedure did happen yesterday, went well. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. How does his continued issue with injuries, and it's been tough with the Achilles injury and what he went through last year, dictate how the Grizzlies are able to rely on him in the front court position? And how did that ultimately shape, in your perspective, the decision of bringing in someone like a PJ Hall on a two-way, who PJ Hall was one of the standout personalities yesterday, which was fun to see. But obviously they also go get Jock Landale, trying to have as much fortification in a fractured front court at the moment.
Yeah, fractured front court. I think that's a good way.
Let's not have a fracture, though.
Yeah, not
Let's
literally
just say
a fracture.
A metaphorically fractured front court.
But I mean, it's a situation where I do believe that those moves, you know, going out to get the PJ Halls and adding that depth in the front court was directly because of, you know, some of those injuries that they're going to have to start the season. And as it particularly pertains to Brandon Clark, like I asked Zach Kleiman, you know, about, you know, is there any long-term concern there? And as I was asking the question, I can see him already starting to shake his head.
Ready to say no, yes.
Like I could see what he was about to say, but then he answered the question and, you know, basically said that there isn't long-term concern. And I asked that because, you know, I've talked to, you know, doctors independent of the Grizzlies who've kind of, I'm working on something about this, but who have kind of told me, like, they don't think that, you know, it's synovitis. That more than likely, like it can be a situation where it's not related to the PCL, the high-grade PCL sprain that he had, but more than likely that synovitis, that inflammation that he's having in that knee is kind of as a result of that PCL sprain that he was dealing with. That's fully healed, but he's still, you know, getting inflammation at this point, to the point where I believe even one of the doctors told me that it was kind of strange to him that he needed a procedure done just from the inflammation, because usually that's something that you just you scope it out or whatever the case may be. But it's something that I'm not fully confident in.
Right.
You know, I don't know what to expect from Brandon Clark at this point. It's knees. It's a big who is really dependent on his athleticism at this point of his career. Like, it's one of his best skills, being able to guard perimeter guys, because he's so, agile and mobile for, a big. He's a really good rim runner. He has a really good floater because he jumps higher in the air than everyone, and then he just floats it over the top of them. So all of his biggest skills can be affected, by these knee problems that he's been dealing with. So it's going to be interesting to see when we get the reevaluation in 6 weeks, where he is at that point, because, when I was talking to these doctors, they said the Grizzlies were kind of vague, and that's no surprise. But depending on, the procedures of the scope or whatever, like, it could be a situation where 6 weeks he's back shortly thereafter, or it could be a situation where he's potentially dealing with more inflammation, and, it's a longer period of time.
In the meantime, RIP the Jaren Brandon closing lineups that all of us dream of being a long-term solution for this team. From the starting standpoint, the expectation is that Jock Landale will be filling in for starting center for Zach Edey. And maybe they zig, but anyway, is Jaren available? There's a lot of different directions the front court could go on starting night. With Jock, and when it comes to Tomas Isolos's system, and we'll focus particularly on the offensive end, but both sides. Until we see Zach Edey on the court, is it fair to say that system will be a work in progress that we cannot firmly evaluate, or do you think Jock is a good enough holding point where we will have a pretty good idea of it?
I think he's solid enough, because his strengths as a player are
mere Edey's.
Exactly, from the standpoint of he wants to be a strong screen setter. He wants to be someone who's going to crash the glass and do some of those things. Now, it's another level, with Zach Edey at the end of the day, especially with the rebounding. I do think at the end of the day the Grizzlies are going to be a mediocre rebounding team until Zach Edey is back. I think that's just what it's going to be. They're probably not going to be a really good rebounding team until he's back. But when he's back, you're potentially talking about being a top 5 rebounding team in the league. That's the type of impact that he could have there. But with the screen setting, with the overall dirty work, Jock gets that. And he was talking about it. I think Klyman talked about it. And he talked about it from the standpoint of unlocking things for Ja Morant, which is a big part of this. I mean, we saw last season in that new offense, Ja was one of the players who struggled noticeably as much as anyone. Like, it's noticeable because Ja Morant is an all-star, all-NBA type of talent, and he was struggling to score 20 points a lot of time. And we were like, hey, it can't just be because he's just falling off as a player. And eventually, when Isolo took over, and even when Taylor Jenkins was still coach in late March, we saw Ja go to a whole nother level, and it was like, oh, that's the Ja Morant.
I'm familiar with that work.
That's the guy right there, averaging 28, 29 points through March until the end of the season. But with Jock Landale, I think he's a good holding place. We've never really seen him play, 25 to 30 minutes a night in those type of situations. So it'll be interesting to see the little things, how he, navigates through foul troubles and things like that. But as a physical presence, as someone who's going to, really hone in on setting those screens and clearing space for Ja and clearing space for the shooters and crashing the glass, he's definitely going to bring some of that.
Before I let you go, I'll ask you, because you're like me, you're so sucked into Grizzlies Media Day and your job within that it's very hard to keep track of everything else. But is there anything from any other media day across the NBA yesterday that came through your timeline enough that you were able to take a moment to take it in? And why is it? What is the Orlando Magic doing with Desmond Bane in that picture?
They just you got to understand NBA, like Twitter, NBA X or whatever. Like you setting your player up. So it's like when Paul George walked into the Clippers arena that time. He's like, where's he at the Where's Waldo? He was like, where's P or something like that. I was like, this is not gonna be good.
This is not what you think it is.
And they're setting them up. I hate it.
Protect Desmond Bane.
I hate it when that 4:15 game comes on national TV. That image is gonna be everywhere. But yeah, that's definitely up there. Did you see Lonzo Ball say he didn't even know?
Didn't think there's the Desmond Bane picture.
Oh,
addicted to these young men. What are we doing?
he blamed his barber. I was like, I don't even think it's his barber.
Wait, what's the
addicted to these young men?
Addicted to these.
What does that?
It has to be a trend that I am too old for. Right?
I don't know.
It's so bad.
I didn't know what it meant either.
I mean, like,
I pulled up my phone and I was like, what is
So where's the Epstein Island at? Isn't that close by?
Yeah, don't we know? Yeah.
Where's the list at? Are the Magic on the list? Is that why we haven't gotten it?
I don't know, man. It's bad. And then, why Dez by himself? Why did it just have to be
that
Dez
shot of his
Jermaine?
forehead
Well,
like that?
So then they took pictures like that of all of them. And then I got on TikTok last night, and there was a trend of like kids doing. Anyway, again, must be something that goes over my head. But it had people talking.
Why are the kids doing
Lonzo
that?
Ball had a quote that he didn't know Cleveland had water, which he meant to. I'm not to assume, but to try to help him out. He didn't know that there were bodies of water.
Why would he not know
Cleveland.
that?
I don't know. He was unfamiliar with
Why
the
would he not know
topography
that?
of
So
Cleveland.
we just said, you know what? F learning about the Great Lakes. This was Melo?
Yes.
It had to be Melo.
No,
That's
this was Lonzo.
No,
This
Lonzo.
was Lonzo.
It was
Ball.
Lonzo.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the-
yeah.
it was
He plays with the Cavs now.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Lonzo.
the smart ball?
Supposedly.
He didn't know. He went to
Listen.
college. He went to UCLA. He was
Look,
on campus.
there you go. There's the problem.
Look.
The UCLA education at work and in the wild. Everyone's like, you didn't think they had faucets? Drinking water? Food water? Any water? Anyway, that was crazy. What was the other one that I saw that made my list of random? Oh, obviously the Clippers situation continues to be, and Kawhi calling Pablo Torres reporting clickbait, which I wouldn't really call it clickbait.
Yeah.
It's been pretty thorough.
He's come with the information on everything that he said. So I mean,
And then Bill Nye the Science Guy was in Boston, and apparently Bill Nye and Jaylen Brown are buddies. So much that Jaylen Brown went to his Hollywood Walk of Fame
are we
induction.
surprised? I mean, with the way that Jaylen Brown.
No, not necessarily. But then I got really jealous because apparently they were doing science experiments. Like, Media Day is a part of doing the internal videos that go on Jumbotron. So the Celtics are doing science experiments with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That's
like,
cool.
watch out, Red Panda. You got Bill Nye experiments coming up. Anyway, DaMichael, thank you so much for dropping in before you head out to Nashville. We look forward to following your coverage of Grizzlies training camp. You can find the latest at The Commercial Appeal. You can listen to DaMichael Cole and Joe Mullinax on the Locked On Grizzlies podcast. It is a wonderful listen. They do an awesome job. We'll catch up with you next time.
Until next time.
We will take a break here. We have football to talk about. We did not get to talk about the crazy football weekend that was yesterday with Media Day happening. So we'll do some of the best game recaps, talk about Monday Night Football. Yikes, Tyreek Hill's leg, everything that came out of that. Yikes, the Bengals. We'll get into it after a quick break.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Let's go, Grizz, let's go!
Oh, John Moran just broke the rim with that finish.
Defense, take that ball! Defense, take that ball!
Jared with a rejection.
Give me that!
Moran digs at it, knocks it away. Picked up by Pippen. Bob, Brandon Clark.
Ooh, on that rim!
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Jaren Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaren, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I'm like,
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I had dinner last night with Grizzlies head coach Tomas Isalo, and that was a pleasant experience. It is not hard to understand how a franchise could fall in love with the idea of him running the basketball team. If there would have been a camera on our conversation last night and I could just replay it for you, you would walk away incredibly impressed.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Big thanks to DaMichael Cole for dropping in studio. Grizzlies training camp starting later today in Nashville. You can follow Grind City Media for all the coverage all week long. We did not get to talk about any football yesterday. And I have to say, CJ, did it change the way you consumed football over the week? Me too. I watched like a fan. It was wild. I never took my laptop out. I just marinated in an incredible day Saturday of college football games.
I've watched football, and Southern Heritage Classic was this weekend.
Yes.
So I was out there celebrating, partying early in the morning, early in the college football slate. And then I come back in time for Ole Miss LSU, and I get me a good quality nap in there. And then when I get back from the Classic, I get to see the Penn State and Oregon overtime. It seems like a weekend full of overtimes. Penn State and Oregon overtime, and finish up Alabama, Georgia. Now, listen, libations were had. Your boy had a little bit of gin and a little bit of juice. So what I recall and remember is not much. It's not much. Outside of that Allard interception, it's not a whole lot, dog.
That's all you need to remember.
Okay, good.
James Franklin lost another big one, and Drew Aller threw a pick to end the game.
Lost another big one because he let Drew Allard throw the damn ball.
It's all a circle. It's all connected.
And it was first, second down.
It's all connected.
You should be able to throw the ball on first down. You should be able to play action and throw the ball off of first down. And Drew was like, "Nah, watch this, Jimmy boy. I'm going to keep this narrative going about you sucking.
I got you covered.
I got you.
I'm going to make sure people keep putting you and Brian Kelly in the same sentence forever.
I got you.
Win the big, but it is crazy because you do have a situation where it's a whiteout, it's a sellout, the environment. I think Dan Lanning said it should have been responsible for 7 points, and Dan Lanning was juiced after that game. I was laughing at Dan Lanning's walk-off interview because he was all jacked up on Mountain Dew and the energy of beating Penn State. But you're like, certainly this is the one Penn State is going to win. And then no, it ended with a whimper. It was so sudden.
Every play that they ran, I'm like, oh God, don't let them throw it. Oh,
but you knew they were going to.
I didn't
you
know
knew
that.
How the game.
I didn't know. I
knew how the game was going to end.
I didn't know they were going to ask him to throw the football.
It certainly felt that way.
Did it? Listen, again,
a little gin.
A little gin.
I was stone cold sober, so I can say.
So it seemed like they were running the ball. Seemed like they could have ran the ball all for 20 yards or 25 yards, wherever it is in overtime, and just ran it down there.
They didn't.
But I'm not mistaken, right? It seemed like they were doing a good job.
They were running
like they were gashing
well.
Oregon. Like Oregon had nothing for them on the line front.
I wouldn't say they were gashing them.
Okay.
They were running the ball effectively.
That's a little bit of gin and a little bit of juice talking. But it seemed like Allen and Singleton were.
Right.
Well, I'd have
Singleton
to.
did very little in that game.
I'd have to look at it
I think
to see
Allen
what
had their
the stats were.
touchdown, if I remember correctly. Again, this happened on Saturday. Don't even get me started on the football weekend starting on Friday night with the big Virginia upset over Florida State in one of the craziest field stormings that I have ever seen.
We got to be able to come together and say it can't happen that
like
way.
that.
It can't happen that way.
Now, I did see a report from people who were in it who explained that because of the sloping of that student section and how close it is to the field, obviously there's not a barricade that anyone has to jump over per se, it looks worse than it was experiencing it, but the look of it was a human avalanche. That feels a human avalanche. But anyway, a big win for Virginia. I had to suffer through the same USC game I've watched 6,000 times. My husband said he's like, I'm not a USC fan, and yet I feel like I've watched the exact same USC game over and over. Why you would score that early if you are a Lincoln Riley coach team with no defense and allow Illinois to have the ball back in their hands. You got by Illinois and Luke Altmaier. Anyway, I know that's a personal thing because everyone else was far more focused on the SEC action of the weekend, which between the LSU Ole Miss game, the Tennessee-Mississippi State game, which I really thought we were going to be talking about a Tennessee team losing two games in a row. It sure did.
Yeah.
Tennessee
so that
won
went to
41-34.
Florida State, Virginia went to overtime.
Georgia Tech, Wake Forest went to overtime.
Caught the end of that one. That went to overtime. Oregon, Penn State went to overtime. High-profile games going to overtime. Wake Forest, if they don't lose their quarterback, they beat Georgia Tech. And they handle Georgia Tech. Again, like I was 2.5 decent-sized cups of gin and juice in. And that's the issue when I partake in the libations. I make the cups way too big. It's like...
You're just trying to stay hydrated.
Well, no, it's like...
Like that?
It's like this size cup. I was like, okay, I'm pour, and I don't ever measure it.
First step is
I don't ever measure it. I just pour it. It's like ancestors say stop, and I stop, and then I fill the rest up with juice. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna drink on this until it's gone, and then when it's gone, I'm gonna get me some more. And I should not have gotten more. I should not have.
That's okay.
But it was good.
Did you watch any of the Ohio State-Washington game?
I did not.
Ohio State is... Remember how we were having our conversation, is this team good? Mm-hmm. Definitively, Ohio State is the number one team in the country right now. They went into Montlake, which had UW had the second home win streak in the country after Georgia, who also lost to Alabama. So both of those get toppled. And they just dominated. I mean, Ohio State, for Sayan to go on the road in that environment and be as productive as he was, threw for, I think, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. That team is built, obviously, defensively. They slowed down what was being seen as a 1-2-3 punch of the UW quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Everyone was talking about how underrated that group was, the offensive unit, and they put up 6 points. And they ran one of the worst fake field goals that you will ever see in your life.
Can the Buckeyes stop the run?
Yes.
You think they can stop Michigan's run?
We'll find out.
Because I don't think they can do it.
But they sure stopped Washington. I mean, they could not move the ball worth diddly squat. The Alabama-Georgia game, really impressed by Ty Simpson. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and for Kirby Smart to continue with the Alabama kryptonite. And it was like the week of confirmed narratives. James Franklin can't win the big one, and Kirby Smart can't beat Alabama. Georgia's still a very good football team, but you just lost to Alabama. And what a turnaround for Kalen DeBoer, where everybody wanted his head week 1, losing to Florida State. And now, once again, he beat Georgia. And that is a conundrum of sorts, because as long as you're beating Georgia, you're going to stick with him. And I think they should. Like, I'm not trying to say there's a situation where he gets fired. But there are those coaches who always win the important, maybe not the biggest game, but for Alabama, Georgia is always going to be one of the biggest games, and that's usually enough to give you some leeway there. But
until he does something, I don't know, silly and
loses to Vanderbilt this weekend,
lose to Tennessee,
college game day,
right? Like, is that where they are?
Yes.
Where is it? Is it in Tuscaloosa?
Yes.
Okay.
Do
you still have your Alabama daddy shirt?
I have mine.
Okay.
Chris gave his away to Goodwill. So if you find an Alabama,
why did he give it away? You guys can go back.
He didn't want it.
So y'all are gonna buy another Alabama daddy shirt?
Well, I have mine. He's not gonna wear one again. He didn't have an Alabama daddy shirt.
Oh, what did he have?
He just had an Alabama football shirt.
Okay, so
from Walmart.
Is he gonna buy another Alabama shirt if y'all go down for game day?
Well, we're not going to game day. We have a wedding in New York. So unfortunately,
I
cannot go support
Why are they
Vanderbilt
getting married
and
during football season?
Great question.
Did you ask the bride this?
Yeah, it didn't go very well.
Oh, Come on.
She wasn't thrilled.
About getting married during football season. So it's the
As you
groom's fault.
should. It should
Why
be
is
the
the
groom's
groom
fault.
getting married during football season?
He's a hockey fan.
Oh, get out
I
of
know.
here.
What are we doing?
A hockey
What
fan.
are we doing?
A hockey fan.
I should have made sure that we kept both of our red T-shirts, and we should have gone to the Arkansas game because then we could have been there and perhaps supported Sam Pittman enough so they could have scored one more touchdown so he didn't get fired. And Bobby Petrino is now the head coach at Arkansas.
What's Bobby Petrino's great crime?
2025, Bobby Petrino.
What's his crime? Honestly, really. Truthfully.
He had a relationship with it. Wasn't she a player?
Was she a player?
I thought she was a volleyball player.
I thought she was just a
Former
player
player
turned
turned staff
staffer.
member.
Okay, so she's good and grown.
He lied.
Okay, come on, man.
Honestly, though, I did think about this over the weekend, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I just think if Bobby Petrino happened today, just like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal, if it happened today, it would be seen publicly so much differently than how it was in the lens of then. And the same thing goes for Bobby. Like if that happened with Bobby Petrino today, he'd be suspended for like 3 games and would still be the head coach.
And he'd pick the 3 games he's suspended for.
Right? 1,000%.
So he'd be Arkansas.
He is suspended for their game against Louisiana Tech.
catch the Louisiana Tech suspension week 1. Catch the Louisiana Monroe suspension week 2. Not going to suspend himself for Memphis and the rest of the SEC schedule. But then the next year, he'll suspend himself for the Arkansas State game, right? Like that's just how it will work. Yeah. But Bobby Petrino.
They're going to hire him.
Yeah. And they should. All he did was ride his motorcycle and get in an accident. And then we just so happened to find out that he put his girlfriend or his side piece, he put his side piece on payroll, right? Like, that's all it was.
And then he lied originally and said he was alone on the motorcycle.
Yeah, but, so,
I need to go back and reread the transcript.
I was talking to somebody. Pull up the Bobby Petrino picture with him in the neck brace.
Oh, it's my favorite picture
Okay,
of
pull
all
it up.
time.
I was talking to somebody, and they said, hey, they're insiders, right? Like, hey, the hat he was wearing?
Oh.
He never wore it. Is that the Sugar Bowl hat?
Yeah,
Do you have it?
It's the All-State Sugar Bowl hat.
He wore that Sugar Bowl hat. He had never worn the hat and wasn't going to wear that hat ever. It was just one of the many, many hats that sat in boxes in his office. But he requested the Sugar Bowl hat so he could remind everybody that he got them to a Sugar Bowl and they won. That's why he was in the Sugar Bowl hat. That wasn't a typical garment for the great Bobby Petrino.
Oh, fantastic. Petrino blamed a gust of wind for blowing them off the road rather than the glare from the sun, as Petrino first said.
Hey, listen, whatever.
Briefly mentioned the wind as a possible culprit in his news conference.
The
day after leaving Petrino.
Why are we victim blaming the guy who crashed the motorcycle? Blame Mother Nature where you should.
He hoped Petrino and his, quote, lady friend were both okay, according to the police report. That afternoon, Petrino called King from the hospital to inquire about his upcoming interview with police after the accident. They needed to know the passenger's name and address. Tough.
Yeah, so if that's his great crime.
If you're having an affair, his great crime. If you're having an affair, be a better driver. Be a more responsible driver. You can't get caught. You can't get caught at the Coldplay concert, and you can't get caught because you got in an accident with your lady
They say
friend.
Jason Taylor may have gotten caught last night.
Where? Oh, I saw that.
That's what they say that Dolphins legend Jason Taylor, star defensive end.
That's not his wife.
May have gotten. Jessica, look at that woman. May have gotten caught up.
I just thought he had a hot wife.
That's a child, Jessica.
I see a lot of older men with young women
not be
all the
old
time.
enough to drink. But yeah,
they are calling it that.
Yeah,
it is his wife.
Is it?
Yes, it's his. You sicko.
Okay.
He has a hot wife.
Listen, okay.
For
Listen,
him.
I'm sorry. I believe everything I read and see on the internet. Forgive me. I'm not supposed to do that all of a sudden?
There is like literally the headline is Jason Taylor caught in viral moment with wife. Why are we?
Okay, why are we doing that?
Speaking of that game last night, I hope Tyreek Hill is okay. He's not. He's having surgery.
I got better things to hope for.
Did you see it with your eyes?
Oh gosh, I do a good job of like not seeing those things because
Me too.
Typically you only see it in
if
the
you're watching
replay.
it live in the replay.
In the replay.
Yeah.
But that one happened immediately, and usually because all the bodies are around, it's like, okay, somebody's injured, they'll go to break and then they'll come back. It's like, hey, look at this injury or don't look at it, avert your eyes because it's gruesome. But that one, he went out of bounds and his leg is supposed to be like this. And that thing is like that. It's like, ooh, legs. I flunked out of pharmacy school twice and I know.
Legs don't go
Legs
like
aren't
that.
supposed to do that. No, ma'am.
He tore multiple ligaments, including his ACL, season ending. Duh. I didn't need a medical report to tell me that was a season-ending injury. Did you hear Tua after the game?
What did he say?
It was like, oh, glory to God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for keeping us safe for the most part. I was like, oh, I was Tyreek Hill in the hospital. And I had to hear this man say,
they don't like one
thanks
another.
for keeping, you think?
They don't like one
Thanks
another.
for keeping us safe for the most part.
I
I just watched my teammate's leg bend like a bendy doll and be in an angle that no human leg should ever be in. But hey, thanks for keeping us safe for the most part.
I thought he had was going to be concussed. Legit thought he had one. He was scrambling, and I think he went to slide, and somebody came through, and his head hit the turf kind of hard. It's like, oh no, please not another one. But he hopped up and he was fine. So either he didn't get one or he knows how to act when he has one because he's had enough of them now.
Broncos waxed the Bengals 28-3.
That division so riddled with injuries
and odd.
But it wouldn't be odd if Joe Burrow and if the Ravens had anybody playing defense, anybody whatsoever
because
playing
they don't.
defense. Because
you could go play defense for the Ravens. I could maybe go play defense for the Ravens just because they're desperate.
Safety, outside linebacker?
Sure.
All right. You be the outside linebacker. I don't want to fill the hole. I'll be the safety. I'll be in the back.
Okay.
You ready to hit the first thing that comes through? Those pulling linemen. What would you do? You step into the hole and you see an NFL tackle pulling your way. And they've changed the rules so you can't just dive into their knees anymore.
Yeah, that takes out my strategy. I don't think you could pay me a certain amount of money to do that.
To fill the hole?
No.
How much money? How much money will it take?
The Bengals, I don't think the Bengals can win a game without Joe Burrow.
It sure as hell isn't looking like it.
I mean, it's not a plug-and-play situation with
No.
Dick Browning. But does your evaluation of Joe Burrow, who already was in the upper tier of quarterbacks, do you think even better of him given how atrocious the Bengals have been since his absence?
No, because what's higher than the upper tier? I've got him in there with Mahomes and Allen and Lamar. He's not above them. He's in there with them. I have him in there.
Okay.
I know most people have him right below, but when healthy, Joe Burrow is one of those dudes, right? There are 4 great quarterbacks in this league right now, and he's one of the 4.
Yes, that's fair.
He's one of the 4.
The Steelers are first in the AFC North after the Steelers just destroyed the Vikings in Ireland over the weekend. Was there any game NFL-wise on Sunday that what are you thumbs-upping for?
I'm trying to make sure my thumb is on camera. I was thumbs up at Jacob. Any game NFL Sunday what happened?
That made you wish that you could have talked about it yesterday?
Cowboys Packers.
I don't talk about ties. That game didn't happen. We might as well have not played the game.
What do you mean it didn't happen?
It was a great game until it didn't happen. That's unfortunate.
They went out there and laid it all on the line.
And it ended in a tie.
No
they
team,
went out there
every
and
team,
laid it all on the line.
I think it's like teams to score 40 points. I hope I'm getting this right. If I'm not, forgive me, because I'm doing it from memory. Teams who scored 40 points and had 0 turnovers, I want to say at home in NFL history was something like 308 0-0, and now they're 308 0-1.
Even just looking at the box score makes me sick. 40-40. It's not over. When are we finishing the game?
Now it's over. It's a tie.
When are we finishing the game?
You and your American exceptionalism. Let me tell you how we do things over here in the rest of the world.
Let me tell you how we do
you
things in
got to
America. I don't know if you
allow
watched any of the
time.
Ryder Cup this weekend, but we are
what was going
stewards
on
of the
with
world.
that? Now we're just all over the place now.
We are. It was a crazy weekend.
Did you keep up with that at all?
The Ryder Cup? Yeah.
I heard people were being belligerent out there.
They were.
Which was shocking that Americans
Rory
would be
McIlroy's
belligerent to a bunch of foreigners.
Wife got a beer thrown at her.
Did it hit her?
Yes, it hit her on the back of the head. There's video where the thought is that like somebody's arm hit the other guy's arm and it cascaded the beer into the back of her head. But yes, it eventually hit her in the back of the head. And there's some people who are trying to justify all of the Ryder Cup stuff. It's like, oh, this is how sports always are. Have you ever been to a game in Philly? Like, this is just what it is. And I'm like, okay, yes, but it did seem to take a pretty gnarly turn. Somebody qualified it as we've reached this point where, you know how we used to say, oh, someone says this online, they would never say this in person. Like, get out from behind your keyboard, troll. Now people are unapologetically excited to get out. The person who was screaming at Rory McIlroy posted the video of him doing so, like from his own account. So people are like very proud about this at this point. Yeah, it devolved.
What did he yell at Rory?
All sorts of expletives.
Oh, okay. All right.
Things I cannot say.
We can't be cursing out golfers
You can curse
the way
out,
we
but they
curse
got
out
pretty
everybody
personal.
else.
And they were at the point where they were like screaming things in his backswing, which if you want to like say, you show up at a sporting event, things get wild, whatever. But it got to the point where that became the overwhelming narrative of the Ryder Cup. And maybe it was on purpose because the U.S. sucked the first 2 days.
Did the fans bring them back in? Got to create a hostile environment.
You know what? You're right. They did. They did.
Where
have a much
was
better
this
Sunday.
at? Where was this at?
In it's Long Island, I believe.
Oh, what a perfect place for them to start doing that.
Okay, if we're jumping all over, the WNBA stuff this weekend was crazy too, with Cheryl Reeve getting suspended for what turned out to be the last game of the Minnesota Lynx season as they lose to the Mercury after Nafisa Collier. I don't know what her injury officially ended up being. I was going to say broke her leg. I don't think she fully broke her leg. I think she avoided a fracture, but got injured pretty heavily on an Alyssa Thomas steal, which was a clean steal. Even it could be a clean steal and also be a foul, and it wasn't like she was trying to break her leg.
She got the ball first, and then she knocked the ball away.
Right.
And then in trying to go
runs through her
get
leg.
it, she runs through the leg. And so I'm not certain what the call is there from a technical standpoint. I know if I'm playing pickup basketball and if that happens to me and I get the steal and just so happen to bump knees on my way to go get the ball and you call a foul, I'm losing my mind. On the flip side, if it happens to me and I'm dribbling and you steal the ball and knock me down, I'm screaming foul, and you're losing your mind, right? So I'm not really sure what the move is. What I do know is I watched that live, and I saw that hamster running in Reeves' head, where she looks, she's like, oh, feet not getting up? Oh, feet really, really hurt? Oh, I'm going to get my money's worth now. Mother bleeper, and went out there. She was fine. She called the timeout because the layup, I think, put the Mercury up 6. Yeah. Called timeout, still in striking distance. She's like, oh, feet not getting up? Like she down? I'm not sure what we got without her. All right, I'm finna get tossed for this. Y'all are gonna get a piece of my mind. And she went out there and let them have it.
And then on her way off, let the fans, the video of her yelling F you at the fans on the way out was tremendous. And then you get to the press conference where she comes from the officiating in the WNBA. And that was very good, like super measured. If you only saw the press conference, you could be stunned that she was suspended for that next game. It was the culmination of everything. And specifically like the NBA PR account even came out, or the officiating account came out to clarify that it wasn't a foul. And that was odd because the NBA officiating account doesn't usually give their jurisdiction on a call like that. They wanted to make a point that Cheryl Reeve went too far, but then all the other coaches came to her back because at the end of the day, all the coaches in the WNBA are mad about how the league is officiated.
I understand that. Yes. The league is officiated poorly. I thought that game was officiated just fine.
I didn't watch, so I can't claim.
I thought that was a appropriately officiated game, with the only potential thing being the play Alyssa Thomas and Nafisa Collier at the end. I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I didn't see anything at all to warrant that type of reaction from Coach Reeves, other than your MVP being down with a fractured something or another. Also, people who you talk about, you don't know how much money it would cost for you to be able to step in an NFL game and fill a hole. I don't know how much money it would cost for me to try and box out Alyssa Thomas, right? Like, there's not enough money in the world. She is freakishly strong to break somebody's ankle. No, come on, man. I'm not. And you hear stories about players bumping into AT. And they're just like, yo, I'd rather run into the brick wall.
Right.
So, try and set a screen on her or run through a screen that she's setting or box her out. Nah, I'm good on that. Y'all got it.
We get Fever Aces tonight for the other spot in the WNBA Finals. If we end up with Mercury Fever, it will just be stunning. It will be a surprise. And Fever fans, don't come for me. Like, you had 5. Like, why would it be a surprise?
Because you guys had 5 injuries.
I'm like, yeah, you had 5 season-ending injuries.
Of
including
major
2,
role players.
Yes. And including the player that this roster is primarily built around and is one of the faces already of the WNBA. It is fair to say it would be a surprise for the Indiana Fever to make it to the WNBA finals.
Embrace it. Honor that. Like, yeah,
Yes.
it would be a surprise.
At the time I said it's one of the best stories in sports right now.
Like, appreciate
That's an underdog
that.
story.
Understand.
Embrace that role.
The Ravens aren't going to get this story probably.
No.
Right? Like, the Ravens are down bodies, and it looks like they're down bodies, and they're not going to, more than likely, as we sit here today, week 4 of the NFL season, week 5 of the NFL season, congratulations on being in first. I need your rule change. Like, they aren't getting to a conference final, let alone a Super Bowl with those injuries. Injury-riddled seasons do not culminate in you making it to your conference final or to your semifinal round, and not done by conferences, but into your semifinal round with a potential 1 game away from your championship round. Injury-riddled seasons don't culminate in that. You don't get to have everybody injured, including your best player and one of the best players in your league. You don't get to have all of those injuries and get to your finals. That's not how that's supposed to work, dog. Just embrace it. Don't be bickering with us. We want to celebrate with you.
And you know me, I'm always rooting for the funniest thing possible. And it would just be funny if it ended up being Fever Mercury. After all season, it was Lynx Liberty. And then it was, well, it's going to be Lynx Aces. And it's going to be Nafisa Collier versus Asia Wilson after the great MVP debate and the co-defensive player of the year with Alana Smith. Well, the Lynx are out, and now the Aces are 1 loss away from being out too. So we'll see if the Fever can get it done in Las Vegas tonight. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Bad Bunny is your Super Bowl halftime show performer. Did we prophesize it on Friday? Speak it into existence? Maybe. Plus, a devastating pop culture relationship story that broke yesterday. Oh, love is dead. I'll explain why on the other side.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Jaron Jackson has a message for y'all. Jaron, say it now.
What?
It's the best show in the world.
Yeah, Trip. When I showed up at the event last night, he goes, "You got the biggest show in the world." And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "To me, you do. I see you every day." I asked him why he doesn't just walk up here, and he's like, "Because I don't want you to be able to prepare." I was like,
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I had dinner last night with Grizzlies head coach Tomas Isolo, and that was a pleasant experience. It is not hard to understand how a franchise could fall in love with the idea of him running the basketball team. If there would have been a camera on our conversation last night and I could just replay it for you, you would walk away incredibly impressed.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Devastating relationship news in the pop culture space yesterday. CJ, are you as sad as I am to find out via TMZ that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have separated?
One of the things that I consume when I wake up early in the morning is one of the morning show, either CBS News Now or ABC News Now. And this was on there. And the show is a culmination of sports news and world news, and then some pop stories as well sprinkled in there for fun. But they treated this so serious, and I was
Love
like,
is dead.
Holy hell, I didn't know these two were together.
Like, I feel that AMC theaters should have a moment of silence before the Nicole Kidman "We Come to This Place for Magic" speech.
Wait, how long have they been together?
19 years. 19 years. And I, usually not a fan of PDA, the public displays of affection, but they did it in a way that consistently made me think to myself, anytime I saw them, they seem to have a good marriage. They seem to really be in love. They seem to really love each other, from the handholds to the looks to the events that they would be at together. They have 2 children. According to TMZ, they have been living apart since the beginning of summer. And, quote, we're told Nicole has been taking care of their 2 children and holding the family together through this difficult time since Keith has been gone. We're clearly getting 2 sides of reporting out of this, as is usually the case when something happens in the lives of celebrities. You have Nicole Kidman's camp, which is making it seem that she is heartbroken, that she is devastated, fought to make the marriage work. But alas, they have separated. And then you have Keith's camp that is implying that he, yes, initiated it, but not in a malicious way. And the hope would be that they could be friends for a long time. According to the TMZ article, it's not 100% that they will be divorced. That's still to be determined, but they are separated. Keith has acquired his own residence in Nashville, has moved out of the family home.
Where's the family home?
Also in Nashville.
Oh, so
this is a Tennessee story. This is a local story. Okay. One of the craziest things about their relationship is, according to reports, there was a cocaine clause in their prenup. I remember finding out about a cocaine clause.
That said
it fast. So Keith Urban had a drug problem when they first got married, and Nicole stayed with him, helped him through it. But apparently within their prenup, he was going to get paid $900,000 a year of however many years they were married, as long as he did not do drugs or alcohol. So I don't think it was officially called the cocaine clause, but it was
what a clause.
Colloquially known.
I should have done that.
It's a pretty good, well, you just had your gin and juice, so done.
Oh, I couldn't have.
You can't have
alcohol.
anything.
Okay.
In his case, he couldn't have anything.
Okay.
But anyway, it just reminded me, like, she stuck with him through all of that. I really did believe in them as a couple, which is so stupid. At this point, any of us who become enamored with any celebrity couple should be prepared to have our hearts broken. God forbid we believe that Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson were a real couple, and then I found out it was all for PR and wasn't real. And I know better than that. But this was a true relationship. They were together for 19 years. And like when you see 2 people, I was going to say when you see 2 people interacting in the way they did, but I saw it with Pam and Liam, and like they were seemingly in love too. So I never know with these actors. I never know with these performers what is real and what is not.
But this one was real. You can't fake 19.
I genuinely believe it was real.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm genuinely heartbroken that they are apart. My group chats, for all I know, our show was a predominantly male audience. The women group chats yesterday were in mourning. I had 4 different chats share the TMZ breaking news piece and said this cannot be real, and then finding out that it was real, were indeed quite devastated.
I haven't heard you say a divorce, just separated. Keeping that in mind. And
but the moving out was a turning point.
I understand that, but I hadn't heard the big one, the phrase that everybody uses, the irreconcilable differences. I haven't heard that yet. So while like it looks like love is dying, I don't think it's dead yet.
She was fighting.
I understand.
To save their marriage.
I understand. Somebody's got to do
for their children. Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret.
If Cardi B can take Offset back all those times, remember how much begging he was doing? Remember him popping up at the concerts with the roses and everything, just walking out on stage trying to get her back? If somebody wants the other one back, and I'm not sure who wants who back, I'm not sure who was the aggrieved party, just get out there and do some begging. Let's go. Put on some 90s R&B and beg. Fall to your knees, play Jodeci, I'll cry for you, and beg.
I don't think he's begging. I think that's the problem. I think he's done.
Whose fault is this?
It seems like, according to the report, both sides, both camps,
fault.
it is
Also fault,
it is led by Keith Urban.
So Keith is
and
done.
One is trying to present it as Nicole Kidman, devastated, fought to continue the marriage. And Keith Urban, yes, initiated it, but he's like, maybe we can still be friends. Maybe we can co-parent our 2 children.
Well, you got to do that.
I'm just looking at all these photos of them.
That.
They were so
sweet. The children. So
at
Nicole
least maybe
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman will give us another great television show, or maybe she'll return to the cinema.
What's your favorite
The
begging?
Hours. Oh, I thought you were going to ask my favorite Nicole Kidman project of all time.
No, because it's Eyes Wide Shut. It's everybody's.
No,
what is
The
your
Hours is one of the most criminally underrated movies and scores of all time. Anyway.
Favorite begging song? Like, if you have to beg for somebody to take you back. Where I Want to Be, Donnell Jones, that's a good one for me. Jodeci, I mentioned it.
Jodeci's a
Cry
great
for
one.
You. Because at the end of it, they just harmonize, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging. Just
Let's see,
just
there's a Reddit thread for this.
I'm trying to think of other people who are begging. Oh, gosh. We used to just make songs about begging. Baby, please take me back. Boys and Men has a good begging song.
I somehow ended up on the FU breakup song recommendations instead because
that's
the
a-
first
that-
one was
that's a good
I Don't
one.
F With You, and I was like, ooh, I love that song, but that's not the vibe we're looking for in this moment.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't think off the top of my
Does
head.
Keith Urban have a good begging song?
I could not name you one. You want to know how I know Keith Urban? He's Nicole Kidman's husband, so good luck, Keith. I know you are a multi-time Grammy winner and country music star, but in the last 19 years, you have evolved into very sweet husband of Nicole Kidman. Her net worth has to be absurd. I think they had quite the real estate portfolio as well between the two of them.
Tyrese, how you gonna act like that? I think that's a begging song.
I like that song.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if he wants to do a country version,
Just do a country cover
We'd
of
accept
Tyrese's
it.
How You Gonna Act Like That?
yeah.
But he's not the one begging, though.
Does Bad Bunny have a begging song? Maybe he could get Bad Bunny to perform at the Super Bowl to try to win Nicole Kidman back.
Wait, is
This
he
is just
the
a way for me to make sure we mention
Nicole
Bad Bunny
has to
before
win
we're
him
done.
back.
Well, I mean, at this point, I think it would require him to have a turnaround of emotions. Nicole already survived Tom Cruise. Hasn't she suffered enough? She was
long
supposed to
ago
have
was Tom
her
Cruise?
pre-19 years when she's been with Keith Urban.
Okay.
I think Keith came pretty soon after Tom Cruise.
Okay, and that Cruise went to old girl.
Katie Holmes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool.
And the Church
Okay.
of Scientology.
Okay.
He's with someone now. Some other actress.
Good for him, I guess.
I
Or
forget.
bad for him, I don't know.
He was married before Nicole Kidman, too. Remember when he jumped on the couch?
Oh, because he was in love with Katie
I
on
wonder
Oprah's
if
show.
Tomas Isolo watched Tom Cruise jump on the couch.
You should have
celebrating
asked
his
him.
love. I know. I'm
now
really
we
mad
got
at
to go
myself.
find him and ask
I
him.
have these wheels turning of like a pop culture segment with Tomas Isolo because he's not busy enough, and they would never allow for that to happen to distract from the season of the basketball. But I think it could be good stuff. I'll be better prepared next year.
Okay.
Bad Bunny is doing the Super Bowl halftime show. CJ has to get to his performance improvement plan
Oh, I
meeting.
forgot about that.
But before he gets to that, we guessed this on Friday's show when Jared Boyd was in studio. And by we, I mean me. I said, I wonder if Bad Bunny will do the Super Bowl. Because at that point, we had the report from Yahoo that Taylor Swift and the NFL could not reach terms because she wanted the rights to her show if she did the Super Bowl halftime show. Adele had reportedly turned it down at that point. So we were trying to fill who could be big enough to do the Super Bowl this year. And it ends up being Bad Bunny, who I now made a lot of Taylor Swift fans mad when I said that he is globally bigger than Taylor Swift. And I get it. Her streaming numbers will crush everything in its path. And when you think of how she even went a period of time where she wasn't on Spotify because she wasn't having her music played on there, what she's done, what her numbers represent, sure, cool. She's been working far longer than Bad Bunny and has far more songs in a discography than Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is huge. I get it. This is what I was trying to say on Friday. So many people in America do not recognize the global reach of Bad Bunny. The United States is not the only country in the world. The influence of Latin America and how much music they support and play and bring into the pop culture sphere, and Bad Bunny is that. And I think he will put on a hell of a show that will probably really make a lot of people mad come Super Bowl Sunday in February.
Only the NFL.
Nope. All right, everybody. Have a great. No, have a great. Have a great. No, you cannot.
About this.
Have a great rest of your day.
There's nothing offensive about what I'm going to say.
I am saving you on this special day.
Save me from what?
I'm about to tell everybody what day it is.
You can tell them, and then I'll tell them what my take is. What is not safe about this, Jacob?
Stop.
What I said, is that not safe?
Stop.
It's safe.
Everybody
Jacob.
have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow. Mike Wallace will join us from training camp in Nashville. Grizzlies season is almost upon us. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye, and happy birthday, CJ.
Well, then let me be great then, damn it.